I'm now back in Minnesota after wonderful travels, but saddened to come back this past week to the terrible tragedy of what happened in Newtown, Connecticut. You'll see on our Charashot that you're receiving today the message that the clergy of the congregation have sent to parents of our kids to offer comfort and guidance during this difficult time, and our thoughts are certainly with all those who have suffered terrible loss as this country determines what it needs to do going forward. With things like that happening, it's easy to forget that just a couple of weeks ago, Israel was experiencing many rockets, 1,500 rockets raining down on it from Gaza. And I spoke to you last time about the Masorti mission that I was about to embark on. The mission had three goals. It was first to show solidarity to our people, and so we visited the communities, the kilot of our movement in the south. And then it was also to express to Israeli politicians and governmental officials our concerns about the ways in which there is a lack of recognition and support for our movement and the good work we're doing there. And the third goal was to see the outstanding work that's being done by the Masorti movement in Israel. Attached to this video is a sermon I gave about the trip that Cindy and I took, that I gave this past Shabbat. I invite you to read it and get the details. One of the highlights of the trip, which you'll see pictures here as well about, was when we got to deliver on behalf of our congregation a Sefer Torah, one of two that we brought to Israel. But this one was from the B'nai Emet synagogue. And we got to honor B'nai Emet's legacy by delivering this Torah to a new congregation of the Masorti movement, Darchei Noam, in Pardes Chana. After we delivered it to incredible joyousness and singing and dancing, I said that seeing it reminded me of the verse from the Psalms that we read in Birkat Hamazon. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. Hazorim b'dima berina yiktsoru. It was really powerful. I remembered the tears that were coming out of those from B'nai Emet when the synagogue was closed just a year and a half ago. To now be in Israel, our congregation supporting the efforts of our movement, to see the incredible joy with which this Torah was received and where it will now have a new life in the land of Israel. As I reflect on the trip, one of the things that also came clear was that this is the realization of a dream. There's another verse that is in the same psalm, Shir HaMalot, that we read before Birkat Hamazon. There's a verse that says, when Adonai restored our exiles to Zion, it was like a dream. Beshuv Adonai et Shivat Zion, hayinu kecholmim. Well, what's clear is we have long harbored a dream of the reestablishment of a state of Israel as a place where Jews could watch Judaism grow and reconnect our relationship to the land. But it doesn't always work that way, especially for non-Orthodox Jews who aren't able to practice freely. People who were in these Masorti congregations, the heroic people that we met, really are pioneers. They're really chalutzim, the new chalutzim, for realizing our dreams, for realizing our vision for a state of Israel in which Judaism can continue to flourish as a thoughtful, reflective, and meaningful experience for all people who wish to embrace it. And that's what we support when we support the Masorti movement. So I invite you to read the sermon I gave. I hope you'll join me in supporting those efforts to realize the dream and to really support the new pioneers of our time, the new chalutzim. Shabbat Shalom.